сотвори Господь.
This week, Vladimir Putin was inaugurated once again as president of the Russian Federation. As part of the day-long inauguration ceremonies, there was a special ordination service held by the Russian Orthodox Church, climaxing in the Moscow Patriarchs asking God to bless Putin with spiritual and physical strength to rule Russia in the midst of the world challenges that they face. The scene, of course, had an uncanny resemblance to the world of Tsarist Russia, where church and state ruled together over a vast empire united under the unique religious world of Russian civilization. At the same time, Chinese President Xi was visiting a renewed Orthodox Serbia, which is actively turning away from what it sees as the decaying West and embracing the rising East. President Xi reaffirmed China's solidarity with Serbia, chastising the West on the 25th anniversary of what Xi called NATO's illegal 70-day bombing campaign, which destroyed the Chinese consulate in Belgrade. And Xi lauded Serbia's return to their religious and civilizational roots as a bulwark against the disastrous and decaying cultural policies of the dying West. China itself is going through a massive Confucian revival, one that President Xi is intentionally on the front lines of. China now sees itself as a Confucian civilization state, where modern communism has ironically reorganized itself in accordance with ancient Confucian concepts, such as the mandate of heaven and cosmic harmony. It's all part of an astonishing return to tradition that's happening all over the world, a revitalization of the old world civilizations that are rising up and reshaping the world order. But something even more astonishing is happening. It's not just this planet that's being reshaped in this new civilizational world. It's now extending even to the moon. You're not going to believe this. This new civilizational order is one of the chief reasons why the price of gold is skyrocketing. Central banks around the world have started to gobble up gold. For example, just a decade ago, central banks acquired just 4% of the world's gold supply. Today, that number shot up to 35%. That's why the price of gold is expected to continue to climb, because when all is said and done, more and more nations are turning back to the timeless value of gold and silver. So that's why we have one of our wonderful partners in this channel, the amazing company Goldco, because they're patriots just like us who want to help you and guide you in how to get into precious metals completely tax-free and penalty-free. They're really amazing. I can't recommend a company more than Goldco. In fact, if you click on that link below right now, you can get your very own absolutely free gold and silver kit. It's an amazing free resource that shows you step-by-step how to get into precious metals, even if your money's still in a retirement account like an IRA or a 401k. And again, just to show you how awesome the Patriots at Goldco are, the best part is if you may actually already qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. I told you they're the best, so what are you waiting for? Get in on the action by clicking on that link below or going to turleytalkslikesgold.com and get your free gold and silver kit. It promises to be a real life changer. It's now being widely reported that both Russia and China are teaming up to put nuclear power on the moon. Yes, gang, the moon. According to the Daily Mail, quote, Russia's revealed it started building a nuclear power plant to put on the moon as part of its planned joint lunar base with China. The two countries are collaborating on the International Lunar Research Station, a massive complex on the moon that's set to break ground in 2026. The proposed base, which will have a radius of nearly 4 miles, that's larger than any Disney theme park, will house scientists who will study the moon's properties. According to the head of Russia's space agency, Moscow is considering the idea of powering the station using nuclear energy on account of the fact that lunar nights last around 14 Earth days, making solar panels on the surface of the moon less viable as a power source. Now, While this might sound like science fiction or something straight out of Star Wars, it's really happening. It's all part of a new space race that we first saw emerge, of course, during the Cold War with the advent of Sputnik, which now China has joined the race. China's making massive leaps in space travel, achieving the first soft landing ever on the far side of the moon back in January of 2019. And so this new nuclear-powered lunar research base, again with a radius of 4 miles, is yet the latest in what we might call terrestrial geopolitics. But something even more astonishing is happening here, something that's actually giving us a profound glimpse into the future. But as we can see, a future that blends together ancient civilizational trends with space-age technology. It's what scholars are calling Archeofuturism. Back in the 1990s, a book by that very title was published by French scholar Guillaume Faye. Faye argued that the modern globalist world, rooted in the excesses of secular technology and mass industrialization, was provoking a meaning crisis that made it simply unsustainable. And he theorized that as the myth of unending progress inevitably wanes, future populations would increasingly return to what he called their arche, or their ancient wisdom and virtue traditions that have sustained their identities as unique people groups for thousands of years. But Faye recognized that our technological advances would hardly slow down in that process, and so he saw a future where tradition and technology would learn to live side by side. And that's why I brought up the Star Wars reference. The future, as it turns out, promises to be far more like Star Wars than Star Trek. Star Trek, of course, is radically secular. There's no religion, no spirituality, no mysticism in the world of Star Trek. It's purely rational, technological, logical, right, as embodied by Mr. Spock. By contrast, the Star Wars cosmos is radically mystical and spiritual. The sanctity of the Force permeates the whole of reality, and only trained Jedi, who are very much like monastics, are able to communicate with the Force and live in harmony with it. What's clear from what we're seeing in China and Russia is that a new world really is rising. An extraordinary world of titanic civilization states that are redefining the political and economic order like never before. An order that's even extending to the stars. Also, as you know, we've just unveiled our brand new Turley Talks app. This is our answer to YouTube's demonetizing our channel. It's a beautiful, cancel-proof app that you can download completely free just by clicking on that link below or by going to fight.turleytalks.com. This app is our way to declare our independence from all woke platforms that hate us and to tell the international woke police precisely where they could stick it. You're going to love it. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.